Right guys, welcome back to the 12th Man. This week it's the regular Thursday night roadshow at 7:30pm. Tonight we're here at the Westfield Swan, one of the Deben Inns, currently doing a 2-for-1 on Sunday roast dinners after 4pm. So make sure you get down here and check it out. Tonight we're joined by... Just Sunday. Don't test me on that, mate. Tonight we're also joined by the 12th Man himself, Mark Beck, and regular armchair Andy Rutter. Getting used to that now, aren't you? Armless chair tonight. Since our Christmas show featured on the 19th of December, we have attended 5 games, joined by 15,000 viewers. So thank you for your massive support. It's been brilliant. Although Town haven't managed to get a single win in that time. It's been absolutely terrible. But the channel hit 250,000 views on New Year's Eve, as well as gaining 7,000 followers across social media over the Christmas period. And big thank you to anyone who's subscribed so far. For those who don't subscribe or don't follow any of our channels, all the links are in the description below. But the best thing you do is start by hitting subscribe in the bottom right hand corner, and we'll go from there. A quick mention for the ITFC women who progressed through to the 4th round of the FA Cup for the first time in their history on Sunday, beating Portsmouth 1-0 down at the... what's it called now? Gold Star. Forget. I've been there so many times. I forget. And have now drawn Huddersfield Town away in the next round of the FA Cup.
Page peak free kick.
Yeah.
Who called that?
We foresaw it, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did last week. But in terms of brief news, that's all we've got. Let's look at the latest. I've got to take a sip of my pint before we get into this, boys.
Right,
Not quite Pilsners, but no. Peroni's it's up there with the gods. Right, brief recap on Exeter to start us off. Andy, I know you didn't watch this one from your armchair, but
nice warm at home, I was.
Yeah, nice and warm where? It was warm down in Exeter, weren't it?
weren't too bad. Well,
Surf was up, weren't
it? Yeah, but nothing good to shout about on the pitch. Well, I don't know.
Come on, let's be honest, right? I think we played well, but we didn't put the ball in the back of the net, did we?
It's the same old story, really. It's just good in possession, just not clinical enough, not that killer instinct, creating chances, Will Keane took his goal very well. I think it's very good build-up play for that goal. But
a lot's being made of Caden Jackson missing. I don't know if this is what you picked up on from the socials or whatever, but would you say Caden Jackson's chance was less of a chance than Freddie Sears's?
There was multiple chances to win that game, let's be honest. For me, Jackson isn't the greatest finisher, but I think he offers a lot to the team.
Yeah.
His pace is a weapon as much as it's not. He's not always scoring goals. He's putting pressure on and spreading defences. Really, it doesn't. Not all, the striker's main job is to score goals, but they can contribute in other ways.
Yeah, he does have a lot pace-wise. In terms of your preferred striker or strike partnership, what is it for you, Andy, so far this season?
I think it's hard to say, really, because I don't feel like they've all been given a fair crack of the whip. Out of any of them, it's been Caden Jackson who's been given the most chance. But we haven't seen much of Sears back yet. See what he can offer. I think he's wasted out on the wing. It always has been wasted out on the wing. When Klug was in charge, no, it wasn't Klug. It was Jared Nash.
Right. Yeah.
For those couple of games he played him through the middle, and he was scoring, wasn't he?
That was Klug, actually, just to correct you.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't want that come to bite you on the bum, mate.
But Will Keane seems to be in form. So it'll be interesting to see how we start the next couple of games.
Yeah. Who impressed for you on the day? Obviously, we lost the game, but there was one standout performer for me. I think Thomas Holy pulled off some incredible saves. I think both goals were not really his fault.
No, first goal, I think Wolfenden's header sort of played us into a bit of trouble. Toto probably could have been a bit tighter, but
Wolf got flicked, didn't he?
I think the Wolf flicked the ball back, and I think sort of caught Toto off guard a little bit.
For most of the game, Wolfenden was quite short, wasn't he? And him and Wilson didn't look too far out of place. Yeah. I think the one that everyone got on was Toto Enciala, wasn't it?
Yeah, he struggled, to be fair to him. I don't know quite what's going on there with him. For me, I thought the way he finished last season, we were going to see something really sort of, a decent player come up. And, he was a good centre-half for Shrewsbury in his time, but I don't know what it is. Something, a lot can affect your life. stuff we don't know about.
And of course, there's speculation that he's got his eyes on a move away from Ipswich after deleting pictures on social media, removing tags. He doesn't even follow the club anymore. I mean, is that him trying to say, "Look, get out of my head," kind of thing?
No chance. I think people read a bit too much into that. I remember
they're the impressions that are given off from certain situations, aren't they?
Yeah, it's not helping the situation. He's in a poor run of form. It feels like he hasn't really recovered from that injury in pre-season. Because when he first came, and I thought, what a player! Yeah. He's strong, athletic, quick. He's winning everything in the air, and he's been unlucky with the injury, and he just hasn't recovered.
All right, let's say there wasn't an resurgence of Luke Wolfenden. Would we see Toto Enciala in that starting lineup every week?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because you can argue Wilson is, he's been the biggest surprise package.
He's been a catalyst, really, hasn't he?
Yeah, for me, when I know, like Andy said, when Toto came in, you noticed his presence. The game, which for me, something wasn't quite right, was Accrington away. Yeah. Funnily enough. Yeah. Because he came up against Colby Bishop, looks fairly average, sort of 6 foot tall striker. Yeah. Toto, I think, lost nearly every header in that game against Colby Bishop. And you think something not quite right here.
And we'll look into Colby Bishop a little later on when we go over the Accrington game. But personally, Colby was a National League North striker last season, and wasn't held by any town player that day. And what can only be described as an embarrassing defeat to Accrington, live on Sky. But let's move on from Exeter on Saturday, and we'll look ahead to the game this Saturday against Accrington. But secondly, the big news today, Flynn Downs has played down speculation linking him with a move away from Portman Road. He's stating that promotion to the Championship is his main focus. Couple of whispers, prior to the transfer window, that West Ham may come in for him. Turns out today that they probably are. What do you make of that?
Well, what else is he going to say? No, I'm a West Ham fan since I was born, and they're coming in for me. But I don't want to go. He's not going to. He's always going to say that, isn't he? Yeah. And I think he'd be silly to go now, because he's probably best form of his life. He's playing week in, week out, and. Yeah, maybe next season if we go up, he goes. Maybe if we don't go up, he still goes.
I only remember the first day of the season at Burton when I asked the question, who would be the better footballer in years to come? Dazelle and Downs. I think we've answered that question so quickly, and they are two different. They are two different players. I get that. So just hold on to that for 1 second. But one's emerged more than the other, haven't they?
Oh yeah. Dazelle's been on the scene a lot longer than Downs and not taken his chance, but they're two different players. Yeah. Downs is so impressive because he does all the dirty things and makes it look so good and easy. Yeah. But he's not going to be the player who plays that pass to split defences. No. And I think the main issue with Dazelle at the moment is that doesn't feel like he's fighting. He's fighting to be in the team, and if he loses the ball, he's not fighting to get it back.
It's a conundrum, really, because I understand what Andy's saying. It doesn't look like he's got the fight in him to want that place.
He's not had the greatest amount of chance. I think we've given him a fair bit of stick for not maybe taking that chance. But
does he need a run of games?
Yeah, I think personally, the last month or so, I've seen a little bit more. More of what people have been saying.
He's looked better recently, to be fair.
Yeah.
Not better than anyone else.
Going back to Downs, like Andy was saying, he's a West Ham fan. If the deal's on the table, I can see us taking it. But and the truth hurts, Flynn Downs isn't going to be at Ipswich forever. No. He's far too good potential to be.
If he wants to go to a Premier League side, I could see him being loaned back straight away.
Yeah,
could you?
That's the deal we need to do. Ultimately, going into transfers, this is how the club needs to operate. This is the only way we're going to generate money. Yeah. Is by these players are building our own players, making our own money. Like Lambert has said, these players could save us a lot of money. They could also make us a lot of money. Yeah. The way it needs to operate is that we bring players through, give them a starring role, move them on and then the next one's come through.
Yeah, I disagree.
Go on.
I disagree. We need to.
How are we going to make money otherwise?
Well, we need to be a club that, in the past we've done that. We need to be a club now that moves forward and shows some ambition. And instead of selling them on as soon as they're playing well, you keep them, you tie them down like we have been recently, and you really drive the team forward, and they become stars within the team.
As much as I'd love to believe in that, I think Mark's got a very good point in that
It's the modern game.
we are a League One side now. We are a League One side. If you look at some of the signings that are being made in League One right
They're
now,
not gonna
we
sign
would
them.
never envisage any of these signings. We're looking at signings for Pompey, we're looking at signings at Bolton. They're coming from the absolute doldrums of lower league. And they're the signings that are coming into their clubs. Who are we going to look at buying? We've got players that should be playing above this level, you'd argue.
We've got to make our own money. This money's been invested in the academy for a reason.
Yeah.
This season.
It's
This season isn't season today.
I think the deal's got to be right. If Flynn is to go, like you've been saying, he's got to come back to finish the season, and then he can go.
Yeah.
We want the money up front, ideally.
Yeah.
That would be a dream situation. But
It's always going to split supporters, just like it's splitting you two right down the middle of this table tonight. You know, we've got a candle on this table. I don't know if you can see it, but it's well and truly out by the looks of it. But one player who's at last chance saloon for, opportunities in the squad, I would argue, even though he's got the quality and the abilities, Teddy Bishop is coming back in. And I tell you what, mate, on Saturday at Exeter, hands down, man of the match, without a shadow of a doubt, wasn't he?
Yeah. Kenlock ran him close, but without Bishop, I think a lot of our attacking intent would, it wouldn't have been there. There's no, he was the only one picking the ball. And what things that we haven't seen is someone picking up the ball in midfield, driving at people, taking it past people. No one's done that. Danny Rowe, I'd say that's probably the only player. And I think, to be fair, I've had a go at Danny Rowe about his end product. We've missed that directness of his.
It's a bit,
That's what we miss, isn't it? Directness.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's a bit ironic because Danny Rowe hasn't really been given a chance till this season at the club, and he seemed to be getting into a bit of form. He scored that goal. Was it Lincoln away?
Rochdale, our last win.
And he got injured.
Yeah.
It feels like it just sums us up as a club over the last 5 years.
It seems we never seem to have the right staff on the pitch to make this work at any given time. And I was arguing a lot, and I say this every time we're on here, we weren't playing well at all before we started losing games. So where is it going wrong? Where is it going wrong?
You know what I'm going to say, don't you? System. It's just, you need a system. That's why we haven't. That's all. This why we're not creating chances, because we've got no pattern of play. There's no players don't know where they're supposed to be because they're not playing in the same formations or the same system week in and week out. There's not those passing patterns to build the play up. We're just, we're having a lot of possession. But it's going. We're not switching the ball quick enough, and we're just keeping possession for the sake of it. There's no. Like we've been saying, it's keeping the ball and not actually driving through, having that killer pass. Wickham, going back to that game, I felt we needed Dazelle because Hughes, he was doing the dirty work, but there was no one driving that pass through. Judge had to keep switching sides in that number 10 to keep the play alive with the wingers and the strikers. But we had no one who could just go, right, just cut the ball straight through the middle, because I think we would have had them then, to be honest.
I think that's a catalyst of Lambert's, lineup, is that we don't want to be predictable, because then sides can beat us easy, but we're not winning games. Yeah. So surely a return to some kind of lineup, some kind of formation that we take forward. It's hard to say that every single week we come out with a different lineup, and we're playing bingo at the moment so that we get the one that's going to win, surely.
Yeah, I was watching the Leeds-Arsenal match last night, and what I found really interesting at half-time, they had a Leeds player on in the studio, and he was saying that no matter what formation they play, no matter who's playing, they know their jobs. Yeah. They know their press, they know where they should be and at what time on the pitch. And that's something which we haven't had in years, really. We haven't had a philosophy and an identity of play and style. and I'm struggling to see what Lambert's is at the moment.
Okay, so on
It's
an
not-
argument.
it's not
No, it's not criticism.
It's
I
just
understand it.
criticism.
So an argument to that is then, do you think the 4-year contract extension was to put faith in him so that he could do this going forward, or what?
No, I just find it. I like the intent of Evans, but I just find it a bit strange because really he hasn't. We've done well. We're fifth. We're still in there, but I mean, it's like we go back to the point is the players need to earn a spot in the team. The manager needs to earn a contract.
My idea is, how did you earn that during a season? If you're required, then you have to come in, don't you?
What's that about the manager? Or
No, the players. The
players.
players have to come in. They all
But
come.
then-
Like you say, is it the manager? Everyone has a stake in this side,
They
really.
do, but going back to Lambert switching systems, we seem to rip it up and start again every week. Which, so you don't know what there might be a formation. For example, when we've played 4-2-3-1, Coventry first half played 4-2-3-1, worked really well. Went to 4-4-2 in the second half, not so good.
Fell off.
Then next game we're playing completely different formation. We're not taking the good from what you can. I think you have to always have a base formation to start off with, and tweak it from there. You go, okay, 4-2-3-1. Maybe we had a lot of possession, played well, not create enough chances. Maybe we change something up, push, bring different people in. You've got to give it a few games, and I think that's what he's doing now. 2 games in a row, we're playing this 5-3-2, 3-5-2, whatever you want to call it, or 5-2-1-2, whatever it is, whatever variation we've got. We've seen that in the last 2 games. If he plays it again on Saturday, then the fans get what they ask for. We're getting the same system, same formation,
And
and
to
then
be fair
rotate
to
within
him,
that.
like I said at the start, the play wasn't too bad. It's just our finishing at the moment, absolutely horrendous. And I don't know what's happened to us, mate. We weren't free. You'd argue we were free scoring for a good period of 4 or 5 games. The goals didn't dry up, in my opinion, because I don't think we were ever doing that. We struggled to score goals last season. I'd say we're struggling again this season. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would. And what I found interesting is I heard Norwood say that this is trying to adapt to suit the manager. So that's a lot different to Tranmere, where really the team
They were playing around
the
him.
team was built around him, and they knew exactly where he wanted the ball, and they done it every time. That's why he scored a hatful. And now he's come here and he's trying to fit into Lambert's way of playing, which we don't know what it is. When Lambert first came, we were playing the ball out from the back a lot, short goal kicks, and he quickly realised that wouldn't work in the Championship because we needed results. But I thought we would have gone back to that at the start of the season, but we just haven't.
No. There was something came out from Chamber a few weeks ago that said that players aren't they're not celebrating goals, they're not taking in the moment. You can see the frustration on the players when they score goals, specifically Norwood. He's netted 3 times in the last 4 or 5 games. Not one of them has ended in him having a celebration or joining the fans or anything like that. Not saying that it's mandatory, but that tells a lot about their mindset in the game.
Yeah, and that it was also the same. Garbutt's free kick, Lincoln away, didn't celebrate, grabbed the ball. that was for it to be 1-1.
Yeah.
If we're on, we were on top. Game could have gone either way at that point.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Is it because their players that like Garbutt come from Everton, or is it because they're players that got bigger ambitions than Ipswich Town, or is it just how the club is at the moment?
I'm not sure. I don't think these players are going to go anywhere after Ipswich if they don't buck their ideas up. And that is a common criticism that everyone's talking about at the moment is, can we criticise the players? Yes, you can. You can criticise them however much you want. It's just, why are they not playing? That's what we've got to talk about. And that begs the question, really, are there any players on their way out? They said there's going to be loans for young players. You'd probably say that's for Dober or El Mazzuni, unfortunately, because they're the only light at the end of the tunnel I can see.
Get Dobra minutes. That's all I'm going to say. El Mazzini came on Saturday against Exeter. arguably behind Bishop, brightest attacking player on the pitch.
Yeah.
Just not getting the game time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And I don't think we should leave. I know you just said that there. I don't think we should leave Kenlock out there.
No.
And I'd be
He's
thoroughly.
been hard done by, I think.
He's been very hard done by. You need to look at. You saw those stats, didn't you, last week? I'm sure if you were on Twitter last week, you would have seen that Kenlock was actually the 4th rated most influential player in the championship. Obviously not the championship, League One this season. Kane Vincent-Young was first, and Kenlock was 4th. I mean, that performance on Saturday was brilliant, and that's exactly what we want from a left back. Someone who can get back, defend, and attack all in one go. He can be the Kane Vincent-Young on the left-hand side, whilst Garbutt should be playing left midfield. Because, in my opinion, we've got no options on the wings at the moment. Judge, Edwards, whoever it is, are not playing well enough. Judge played well at Wickham. He's a number 10. Edwards is just out of sorts. It's just being used as a square peg in a round hole, in my opinion, at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I feel a bit for Edwards. He's not a right back. In the same vein that his namesake Carlos Edwards was never a right back.
Yeah.
But they will put a shift in there. Tackling needs a little bit of work, but I think some of the goals we've conceded from crosses from the left coming over to the right at the back post. You're playing a right winger at Peterborough, a guy who's scoring double figures goals at right back. Probably never had to really worry about defending. His focus up the other end of the pitch. So I think Guillaume gets a rough ride. Needs to learn how to tackle. I think he's good at. There's a red card coming.
He does that same tackle every.
Say that again.
He does the same tackle every game, and we just know it's just a
Get spooked for it, don't he?
leg chopper. He does it every game.
So let him know he's there. Tackle every game.
Yeah, but he does it around the 70th minute and is likely to get sent off for a tackle like that. Criticisms of Edwards, to be honest, I've played in that position when I was young, so I had to play in that position, out of position, and play there, and it's not easy on anybody. But in his sense, because he's an attacking player, we know what he can do with the ball. He's quick, he can get round players, he can drive, but he's not being given the opportunity to play there.
The thing that baffles me is when Edwards came in, he was playing on the left at Peterborough. Hurst never played him on the left, and Lambert's played him on the right. One game he played him on the left was Peterborough away this season, and he nearly scored an absolute banger. And he actually looked.
Maybe that's the secret then.
Why is he not playing on?
Maybe that's the secret. But Garbutt, you'd argue, it controls the left wing. As long as he's scoring goals, it's going to be in that side.
I think Garbutt is good enough to play anywhere across midfield. He could play. I think he can play number 10. Probably play your standard box to box centre mid. He's a cultured player.
Maybe that's where we're naive. That we don't look at playing Garbutt in different positions so that other players can come into the squad. Maybe we need to do that. Maybe that's why we're losing games at the moment. Just quickly, we didn't get to talk about. Obviously, we haven't done the 12th man since the 19th of December because of the football fixtures. But during and after the Lincoln game, it's quite obvious to see that Edwards was becoming a bit of a scapegoat for everyone in the side that day. You can see his frustration when Lambert asked him to go to right back. You could see him getting, talked down to by Kane Jackson. I think even Chambers had a go at him that day. And Chambers come out afterwards and say, "Look, we're picking on players. We shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be doing that."
I think it was just bad down the officer round. Needs to be written off. And just need to move on and try and build.
Moving on swiftly. Who's on the way out of Portman Road this month, boys? In your opinion, quickly.
I don't know if they're on their way out, but I pray that we get a deal done for Bart.
Yeah.
I love the bloke in his time at Ipswich, but he's our biggest asset, who hasn't really got a future at the club, I would say.
Don't think he wants it anymore.
He's probably now similar value as he was in the Championship. He's getting a lot of.
Probably argue even more when people are after him.
Plaudits. We've got to drive a hard bargain. Millwall, you want him? He's yours. Pay the money now
for 10 million.
Yeah.
What about you, Andy?
You can go elsewhere.
I'm not sure really. Squad's too big. Wouldn't be too upset if Hughes went, but I'm not sure who would actually come in for him. And he's definitely not going to drop down the league. I'm not sure really.
All right, then we'll leave that there. We've got some questions from Instagram for tonight. prior to us talk about Accrington on Saturday, but social media questions go for it. Number 1, does Keane deserve to start over Jackson or Norwood based on current form? Now, it's important to know, Will Keane has scored 3 goals, Norwood scored 3 in the last 7, I would say. Jackson, zilch. And I mean, are we saying that Jackson brings more to the table than somebody who's scoring goals at this moment in time?
Keane should start should we play to his strengths. When we play the ball into his feet for him to hold up, he's a lot better than trying to hoof the ball to him. I think he gets a bad rep really, just because he is a big lad. He's over 6 foot. We immediately think, yep, win a header. Another player could think he was like that, John Stead. Not a great header of the ball, but good at holding the ball up his feet.
He's got better at headering, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's scored a few headers, in his time. But for me, I think he's better at holding up his feet and linking up with I think if we played Norwood Keane with Judge in the 10, like we did at Wickham, I think that's pretty dangerous.
Against Gillingham, tried to go all out, didn't we? Where we played Jackson, Norwood, and Keane all in the same starting lineup. And Keane and Jackson were just getting muddled up, weren't they, on the right-hand side, trying to win that ball. We don't want to see that again, do we?
No, I think I definitely wouldn't play Keane by himself because he can't win a header. And probably Keane and Norwood. Don't think we've really seen much of it. But again, watching Leeds match last night, I was watching Bamford, and it kind of reminded me a bit of Keane. He's very good with his feet, but couldn't really win any headers.
I mean, on Saturday he done like 6 step overs, took around the defender and then hit the post, and it was unlucky to go in, wasn't it?
I think if you look at Norwood's in his career, he's played with a strike partner most of his career. When he was at Tranmere in the Conference National League, he had Andy Cook, who went on to bigger things. Last season he had Jennings and Mullen, and we've seen when Tranmere came down, Mullen is a target man effectively, not the tallest, but he fights for every aerial battle. Andy Cook, I think, was fairly similar. Maybe that's what Norwood needs, someone big. I think we've used Norwood as that target man a lot of the time.
We need to be using Norwood as a finisher rather than a target man, like you say there. We'll come back to the question in a minute. That'll probably be best for last. But number 3, should we be shopping for a striker in the transfer window? Someone's come out and said, would you be happy with Leon Clark? Should Ipswich sign him after being heavily linked? I mean, played really well for Sheffield United in League One.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't object at all to him coming in. Then you kind of think, well, what's going to happen to Roberts? Drinan's back from his loan. Bit early for Drinan, I think.
We kind of know that Roberts is on his way out. I mean, we can share that with you. That's what we know. But
I'm surprised it hasn't been announced already. And same with the Garbutt thing. Yeah. If the Garbutt deal was done, I think we would have heard about it already.
But this is the thing with the Smollich deal. That was done. And is he injured now?
Yeah, he twisted ankle.
So he's not going to be. He's not going to be coming to Ipswich then.
He probably will, because we love an injured player. So
he'll be out he'll be out for the transfer window.
I'll tell you what. We'll give him a free recovery, and then we'll let him go to another club for free.
Going back to Leon Clark, he's 34, which that is his age is not aside, but for
shades of Leon Best, do you think?
For a 1 year deal, the guy knows League One like the back of his hand. I've said on Twitter he's like a few strikers in the league above, like your Grabbins, like your Chris Martins. They know the league inside out. He's had better seasons.
You said you didn't want him.
Poor form from you, mate. Poor form. And now looking. Yeah. I told you he was ready to come back in. Irish Messi. Judge will never be the Irish Messi, mate. Can't even put him back in that. Who is your priority signing this transfer window? Are we even in the market for anybody?
I've got a list of people we have been linked with.
Go on,
shall I get a list?
Isaac Hutchinson. He's ready to sign.
Where is this Isaac?
Whoever made up that rumour about Isaac Hutchinson, you're really playing it well, because I've heard it too much this year. Heard it way too much. Go on then, go for it.
Should we go off the list? So, Sam Winnell from Sheffield United, striker.
Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
We like Sheffield, don't we?
Yeah.
Looking like Sunderland are in for him as well. Charlie Kirk, who's a winger from Crewe. The Crewe manager said he is the best. If we sign anyone else, we've missed out on the best winger in League Two.
What they said, why did we sign KV1?
No, that was the Crewe manager.
Liam McAlladin from non-league Halifax Town. Jordan Shipley attacking mid from Coventry.
Yeah.
Schmoddix, who we mentioned. Reece Hutchinson, fullback, Burton Albion. Not heard a lot about him. Dave Cornell, goalkeeper for Northampton, and the aforementioned Leon Clark. So, not the most glamorous lists, but
League One team.
But League One team.
We have to be realistic about targets. If anything, they're probably, Championship kind of, bottom of the half Championship kind of League One, top of League One kind of targets.
I think it's hard to say what a priority signing is in terms of position. I think if Toto's going, I think Bolton's the recent link that's come out on.
Where does that come from, by the way? Where does it come from?
On Twitter, whether it's a legitimate source or not.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. His dad's very unwell, isn't he? In Liverpool.
Yeah.
Completely unaware, but that may have a major impact on where he wants to play his football at this moment in time.
Yeah, and I mean, if he's going to go anywhere, I wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhere up north.
Very well put there. Anyway, let's have a look forward to the weekend, and obviously it's the big one. It's back. Love Island. Make sure you watch it this weekend, guys. But apart from that,
did you apply?
I didn't apply this year. No.
That's not right.
You had wrong then, mate. It wouldn't be fair on everyone else, would it? Accrington at home. Let's leave it there, mate. All right, park it. All right, better than Mark's parking anyway. Let's put it that way. Town take on Accrington at Portman Road this week, looking for the first win in 12. Apart from Peterborough, drawing with Peterborough, that doesn't count as a win, does it really, in the Cup? But 5th place Town take on Accrington, standing currently in 17th place. Town's current home form has seen them lose twice in the last 5, drawing the other 3. Accrington, however, have lost once in the last 5 on the road, making 3 draws and 1 win in the last 5. Turning point for our season was probably the defeat to Accrington Stanley on Sky. Since then, we've only recorded 2 wins out of 10 league encounters. Yeah. I mean, it's embarrassing, really. And they were directly after that defeat, so you probably argue that they weren't the catalyst in that sense. Yeah. A win on Saturday would see Town return into the running for automatic promotion, but that's based on results. Is it fair to say that a loss on Saturday would see this club into a sticky situation? Now, we'll go back to the question that I missed off from the social media questions. Now, that sticky situation leads on to this question. How long should Lambert get in the job? Now, for me, that 4-year contract was covering up something that...
4-year extension?
I'll
keep
sorry.
So he's actually got 5 years left.
Yeah, so he has got 5, but it's an extension. Now, normally these extensions are to do with money, I would say. We were paying him too little.
So it's actually a 5-year deal.
I can't understand it. Because, if it does go tits up, which it could probably go after this.
There must be a clause in it, I don't know. Well, it's obviously performance related. If not in, I don't know, top 2, top 6, is there a release?
Do you think Evans turned around and said, look, New Year's Eve, had a few sherries, like, look, if you get promotion, I'll give you that £1 million bonus that's still sitting there from the McCarthy era?
I think it'd be ridiculous to do that. I think he should say, look, extra £1 million in the kitty for the transfer window. I mean,
there cannot be money available. Why? Look, for me personally, I'm no football manager, but I could get us promoted with that squad.
I reckon they had a little game, deal or no deal, 2 boxes, and Evans go, you can swap if you want. One had his termination papers in, the other one had a 5-year deal, and Lambert won.
He opened up the box with the transfer budget, and he got the 1p. I think.
Yeah, we've all seen that picture, haven't we? Accrington have got some danger men, and
but they shouldn't be danger men. They're 17th.
They are danger men. All these players, 25 goals between these 4 players this season. Name me 4 players that got 25 goals between them in our squad, and you couldn't do it.
Probably Norwood 7, Norwood's 8
in the league.
Oh, you didn't Stanley?
I'm saying 4 players for us.
Norwood, Jackson. That's it.
Norwood and Jackson is 16 goals. Garber is 21 goals. Name me someone else who's got 4 goals. Nobody, exactly. So then you say they're not danger men. They are. They've got Colby Bishop, Sean McConville, Dion Charles, and Zanzala.
So they obviously score a lot but concede a lot.
Yeah, you'd argue that is the case. But of late, they've been very consistent. Very consistent on the road as well.
I mean, if they're in 17th and they've got 4 players who scored 25 goals between them, they must concede a lot. They must concede a lot.
All right, let's look at Accrington Stanley as a team. We talked about this when we were down there. Perfect example of a club that's risen back through the leagues, right, and has found their niche. Their niche is producing players and getting rid of them. I'd argue that those 4 players there will go for maybe 5-6 million. That would, I'm sure that's maybe double, even triple the running cost of that club for 1 year.
Yeah. Well, look at Kane Jackson, Donassian. I think was Roberts there at one point as well. But I mean,
stab in the dark, that one.
It's a bit strange, I think, because they said 750k or whatever from Donassian paid for their new change rooms.
Yeah. It's business. That's what we've got to get better at.
Yeah.
As much
we can take examples from these clubs.
As much there's ways to do business. I can't,
The thing is, look at the owner. Look at the owner. We shouldn't have to take things on business.
But
we talk about. I've said this point so many times. He's an expert in hospitality. He's a billionaire, and he's until this season had 1 card machine and a North Stand.
I will admit that's a very solid point he's just come across there with.
That's where I come back to what I was saying about the academy lads.
Yeah.
That's got to be that's going to be our income. If we do this right, that's our income.
We've got to be self-sufficient. If we've not got an owner who's going to pump money into the playing staff and only the running costs of the club, we need to make the running costs from our self-sufficient nature as a team. I think that's the argument where we come from the down situation.
I mean, I don't know anything. I'm nobody, but I feel like Evans is coming to the end of the club because I saw someone on Twitter looked into it. I don't know if it's true or not. If he invested all the money he's invested in Ipswich, so 80 million whatever, into Apple shares in 2006, same time as he bought the club, he would have made over £800 million. And now he's just using it as a tax break. So I don't know. Has he given Lambert the long deal to...
Hold on a second. How much do we know that he's made? How do we know how much he's made? We don't. We'll never find that out.
There's the old adage, you don't go into football if you want to make money.
No, you don't.
How do we know that football is not a money-making business? How do we know that Ipswich Town are operating a loss? For him, I know his worth has gone up 700% since he bought the club.
There's only a handful of clubs that I can name on this hand that...
just that
It's just that handful of clubs that I can name on this hand. Just this one. Go on then.
Only this one.
Cool, you've had a right grueler there, son.
I'll leave you there with that one to think about.
Don't
make a profit. Who? Go.
Who?
Liverpool, Man United.
They're huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Man United are not running at a profit, mate. They're running at a huge loss. They are.
It's a myth.
They're commercially traded teams.
Yeah, they are. They make more money on shirt sales than they do on any, football in the season.
But then you look at teams like Real Madrid, AC Milan. They're massive clubs still, but they still aren't making money.
All right. So AC Milan bringing in Ibra the other day. How much in shirt sales do you reckon that'll make?
Yeah, I think in the first week of Ibra signing for Man United, the club made as much money on the shirts as they'd pay him in a whole year.
Exactly, and that's what business is about. When Norwood came in,
and we've got a multi-billionaire, and we don't know how to do business.
But listen, when Norwood came in, shirts sold out. This is the kind of business. We just brought in someone on a free. We're probably paying him pittance more than what he's getting at Tranmere, and he's made us a sevenfold.
And we've still got no money.
And still no money. Yeah, you're right.
We'll talk about
anyway, the only benefit Town can really boast about going into this one is that Accrington are playing tonight, Tuesday night, in the Lisa.com Trophy. So we've got a week's worth of rest in front of us.
Yeah.
What a tin pot competition.
And we all know what's going to happen.
Yeah, who wants to be in that tin pot competition?
Yeah, exactly. Focus on the league.
Yeah. It's not like we travelled for 5 hours on Saturday.
I can tell you what's I can tell you what's going to happen already now. We're going to lose because it's just written in the stars.
Is that on Saturday?
Yeah, because
All right, let's do.
we never do well after breaks, and they've got all these games, and we're thinking, we've had a rest, we put our feet up, and it's just we're going to lose.
All right, best and worst case scenario. Then we've got a good 6 minutes to go, boys. We could lose this game on Saturday, and in my opinion, we're probably being deep shit, and that's being kind.
It's embarrassing to say this. There's no disrespect to Accrington, but I'm genuinely worried about Saturday, how it could go, because we're in the exact position they want us to be.
Yeah,
we've got a big. Well, the numbers have dwindled a little bit, probably 17,000, probably at least. We're vulnerable, desperate to win, equally desperate not to lose. They're going to be all over us in 20 minutes. Yeah. They'll just give it everything, like they did live on Sky. Impressed with them, and really.
They've got threats like we just discussed.
An early goal. They're just going to look to turn the crowd, and I pray it's never going to happen, because it's the way it is in football. If we go a goal behind, just fucking stand up in the face of adversity and fucking get behind the boys. If they don't win the game afterwards, say what you want afterwards about them. But if we give our all as fans to them, and there's not much, if we still don't go out in the game, then we've got problems. But if they can pull it around, we're a part of that.
It's fair to say fans are rattled at the moment, Andy, because results have not been going our way in any way, shape or form. Tensions are going to be so high on Saturday, and I think it's going to, like you say we could lose this one. They've got a goal in them. If we can see that goal, mate, there's going to be tensions flying everywhere, isn't there? I
think even before kick-off there's going to be a bit of an awkward atmosphere.
Yeah.
After the Lincoln match, there was a lot. Yeah. There was a lot about just fans arguing amongst themselves. Look how good the atmosphere was after we were relegated last season. Why can't we just get together and give our all for the club, and hopefully we'll see something back?
What is this? Where's this disparity between fans come from? I mean,
what is there to talk about? We're literally we know we all believe that we're good enough to win this league, or we were at the start of the season. Some of us more so than others. Looking a bit foolish now.
Yeah.
But
100 points on the go.
Yeah,
I still believe we're going up as champions, mate.
But how far are we off? 100 points now. But but what we all know how the quality in this squad, and I'll argue anyone. There is quality in this squad, quality good enough to win this division. But we've just had so many, going back to chopping and changing the system, the amount of breaks we've had. I'm not making excuses. There are genuine reasons why we're not up there. So what is there not to talk about? That's what, we're all frustrated at the same time, because we know we're good enough.
Yeah.
We know we're good enough, but we're just not seeing it. You could argue that we're not good enough because we're not there at the minute. But personally, I think we are. It's just, that's what's getting everyone riled. Everyone has got different opinions on players in the squad, who should be playing, who shouldn't, and it's just creating toxic atmosphere within the fan base. As much as Paul Lambert's done a good amount of work in bringing a lot of the fans back, we're turning on ourselves. It's just not a good thing.
Shouldn't be him, though. Shouldn't be him. I would say time and time again, it shouldn't be Lambert's job. It should be the owner. Look at clubs like Leicester, and it's all built. And for years it's been built around the owner, and it's just something completely different here.
It's fair to say, I think I sat here good to 12 games ago and said the next 20 games were going to be the building blocks in which this club will get promoted. And we've lost virtually half of them. And people forget, the first 10 games shows who you are as a squad. The next 20 show what you really are as a team. And we've just gone off the boil.
I can remember the first time I came on the 12th man, and I said, you don't want to be that team that gets found out in December.
Yeah.
And look where we are.
Well, would you rather get found out now or April?
Yeah, good point. I'd rather be found out in December than later on.
I think these next few months are going to be telling. And I think it's going to take a little time. I think the best, to be a realistic aim, is to try and get into the playoffs on a run of form.
Yeah.
And go up via the playoffs. Looking at it now, a lot can change. It's an inconsistent league, but that's
then we can go. Then we can go to Wembley.
Then we can go to. Well, you can. I've had a right.
Booked a holiday on Wembley. I mean, we're not going to go to Wembley, mate, because we're going up as champions.
I think we'll be second at the end of the day, whether that's to Peterborough.
Would that be a failure?
No, I'd take absolutely anything to go up. I mean, last game of the season we scraped 6th, and then we win at Wembley.
Even some of the stuff you've seen in Thailand. You take some of the stuff you've seen in Thailand to go up.
Yeah.
That's absolutely horrible, mate. Let's not talk about the Coke can story you're talking about. I think we should end it there, boys. Thanks for joining me tonight. We're here at the where are we? Westerfield Swan. Forgot where we were.
So comfortable. We're here all night.
It's just comfortable, yeah. Here all night. Get the pints in, boys. But Saturday's a big one. Make sure you give it a shout. Get down to Portman Road and come and have a word with us before or after the game. I think we've got Fortuna coming down as well. 130 of them coming down. So if you wanted to join them prior to the match on Saturday, they're at Bears Pool and Snooker Club from 12 onwards. But until then, come on you Blues.